We're going to start this one with the edited down version of Kofi Anderson's police safety video, and then I'll give my thoughts on the subject. Links to the original video in the description.
Hello, this is Kofi. The proper protocol when you get pulled over. A safer situation for both the police officer and for you as a civilian. My car was completely turned off. The radio is all the way down. Then I'm facing forward. Both of my hands are here with my fingers out. As the cop is approaching, what it does, it takes his adrenaline down. Do not sit on your wallet. Number one, you have to have your ID pulled out before the cop gets there. Because if you're reaching down, it's going to make his adrenaline go up. Patrick, slow and steady, reach for your license. The hand on the wheel, fingers out. Done. And that's how you hand it over. We want to get home safely. You have to go home. You got to make it home. You're needed. This is a big deal.
Okay. So, that's how you act around police without getting shot. Seems reasonable. But the thing is, I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I've had quite a few interactions with the police. According to reactions, I have an unusually high number of interactions with the police. For a white male, at least. One time I even flagged a cop down for a traffic violation and gave him a fake ticket. Let me give you an example of one interaction with the police that I've had. So one night I was driving down the road, and I came across a crossroads. Seeing as there was nobody on either side, I only slowed down at the stoplight and kept on going. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that there was a cop behind me, and the red and blue lights came up. I thought to myself, I don't need this, so I kept on driving. Eventually it sank in that there was nothing I could do, so I pulled over. The cop pulled over behind me and shined the lights at my mirrors, blinding me, which is what they do. So I rolled down my window, closed my eyes, and leaned my chair back a little bit to get comfortable. Apparently the cop was waiting for backup or something, because I was about to fall asleep by the time he came up to my window. He woke me up by screaming, "Put your hands on the wheel!" I have this funny little tick that whenever I know that I'm in trouble, I start grinning like a fool and laughing. Unfortunately, this never helps my situation. So now that I've offended the cop by laughing at him, he musters up all the authority he can in his voice and screams, "Get your hands on the wheel now!" I put my hands on the wheel and continued laughing as I really can't help it. The cop then asked for my license, registration, and insurance. I laughed a little harder and said, "Nope." It was at this point that under similar circumstances, Samuel DeBose was shot and killed. The cop, rather incredulous, responds, "What did you say?" At this point, I'm trying desperately to suppress my laughing, but between the giggles I'm able to explain my situation. Funny story. So, I moved recently, and got my license updated to reflect the new address. So when I turned in my old license, they gave me a receipt and a temporary license. Unfortunately, the receipt and the temporary license looked very similar. So I threw away the temporary license and kept the receipt. My new license hasn't arrived in the mail yet, so I don't have a driver's license. Now, I did just recently renew my insurance. Unfortunately, when I went into the office to pay for it, I forgot to pick up proof of said insurance. So I don't have any proof of that. Now, I really would like to renew my plates. Unfortunately, you need an emissions test. But my muffler fell off, so I can't get an emissions test until I get that fixed. But I'm broke, so I can't get a new muffler. Nor can I afford the ticket you're about to give me, so just screw me over and let me go. Okay? The cop then asked if I had a weapon. Still laughing, I said, "Sure do." I then reached for it, pulled out my gun, and presented it to the cop. Now, you might remember cops killing Alfred Alongo, John Crawford III, and Tamir Rice for doing much less. But for me, the cop just yelled at me to put the gun down and lectured me on how my Second Amendment rights were not a thing. Now, I know the law in this field, and the cop lying to me combined with the lights in my face was starting to get on my nerves. So I got out of the car. Jeremy Reed and Keith Lamont Scott were promptly executed for the crime I apparently just committed.
Don't you move!
But I was allowed to walk away and get behind the lights of the cop cars. But admittedly, this did antagonize the police as they did start shouting at me. But I wanted out of the light, so I ignored them and continued on my way. At this point, police opened fire and killed Mario Woods, Terrence Crutcher, Walter Scott, and Laquan McDonald. But not me. The cops then gave me a roadside sobriety test, which I passed. All the while laughing and asking, why don't you stop wasting our times and just screw me over with a ticket already? The cops then walked me back to my car. After I got in, the cop who opened our encounter said, "Now, I'm going to let you go, because I want you to know not all cops are out to get you. And I'm sorry about opening our conversation at gunpoint. We are a little on edge here, as last week a cop was killed in the line of duty." Now, I respect cops. I respect them as much as I respect anybody with a vitally important job, and a dangerous one to boot. But my tick got the better of me and I just started laughing harder. The cop told me to get the fuck out of his sight, which I gladly did. Now, I'm a little weird, and cops often find me a little suspicious. I mean, this is what I wear when it's cold, and why I call snow terrorist weather. Say hello, Frank. Because of this, cops often hassle me when I'm not doing anything wrong, and I always laugh, and I never take it seriously. Plus, my brother and I take full advantage of the fact that we live in an open carry state and wear our weapons like a frickin' fashion statement. Sometimes cops will approach us, and we'll argue with them, fully armed, and the worst that's happened to us is my brother got a light shined in his face. So this is not a one-off thing for me, and I know this is all anecdotal and may or may not be representative of reality. But anecdotes such as these are the experiences of millions of Americans. They see black men getting gunned down and white men getting away with so much worse. And it's only human to hold anecdotes above that of facts and statistics. So just taking these anecdotal facts into account, what am I supposed to think? What conclusion am I supposed to come to? I mean, what conclusion is there, other than white lives matter and black lives don't?